So breaking news today, it says a Dublin man was jailed for 16 months for threatening the life of Dublin City Councillor Leftie Steenson. So for those who don't know, Leftie Steenson is a more right-leaning, more conservative man who led the charge with the Spoil Your Vote campaign. And I back him 100%. He is doing absolutely great work. But of course, these radical lefties are psychopaths. They're absolutely insane. They want to kill and harm more conservative, more right-leaning people now. We've seen it over in the US with Charlie Kirk, trying to shoot Donald Trump, trying to kill all these different officials that are help pushing the right-wing conservative movement. Today we have our own. This is a landmark case, guys. This is a landmark case in this fact that we're getting more violent as a society in Ireland. We have left-wing loonies that are obese with the green hair, the nose rings, with the cane. Now they're getting angry. They're getting angry because they're losing and they don't know how to control their emotions, so they're lashing out. Like this man, 31-year-old Jamie Moonan was in court today along with Councillor Steenson to hear the judge's verdict. During the general election last year, so this happened last year, Moonan attempted to make his way to Councillor Steenson's office in the North Inner City during Councillor Steenson's campaign. So he was running a campaign and this guy knew where he was, so he wanted to get in close contact with him to hurt him. The court heard how Noonan told Gardaí he was threatening Mr. Steenson's life. We obviously know, guys, if you threaten people on the internet, you can go to jail for it. Okay, not a good move. Not a good move at all. Okay, that is absolutely bizarre stuff that you have people in 2025, emotional, lefty, crazy crackpots like this guy, threatening councillors, official councillors of the government. Like, this is nuts stuff, guys, you know. In a victim impact statement read out in court, Councillor Steenson said that he was involved in politics all his life and then he would debate with this man publicly or privately, but he could not have his life endangered. I love it. So Councillor Steenson said, I'm going to debate you. I don't mind talking to you. Same as me. Everybody on the right, everyone that's more conservative like myself, we want to have open debate, open discussion, but they don't want that on the left. They want to shoot us like Charlie Kirk. They want to kill us. They want to hurt us because they disagree with our political opinions. This is bizarre. This is how now bizarre and divided we are in Ireland right now. Okay, the Republic of Ireland has gotten extremely dangerous and divided. You can feel it now. People are divided. People don't want to know what your politics are. Hey, what politics are you? Are you left or right? Oh, you're from Ireland, but are you left or are you right? Are you far right? Are you this? Are you this? It's just crazy stuff. We just want to talk on the right. It is also noted that Councillor Steenson called that there should not be a custodial sentence. However, the judge enforced a 16-month sentence of the accused. So Councillor Steenson actually said there shouldn't be a sentence, that he should get a suspended sentence. What a legend. Man, Councillor Steenson in my book has gone way up. He didn't even want to make this man go to jail. What a legend. He said, no, you know what? It was all a mistake. He's understanding now that he did wrong. No. The judge then said, nope. Absolutely not. 16-month jail sentence. And good riddance. I love it, guys. That's perfect justice right there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I have a few different news stories to get through today. Just thought I'd start with that one. I think that's crazy. We're now getting people like this guy threatening people. So Mooney then attempted to return to Steenson's office on the election results day, but was intercepted by Steenson's campaign staff who were positioned close after he sent a TikTok message in detailing his plans. His TikTok was filled with far-left anti-Irish propaganda. There we go. Dangerous rhetoric from Paul Murphy and TD. Others inspired this assassination attempt. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. He's also up today for threatening to kill a family member using a gun. So this guy's obviously a clear crackpot. He literally made threats to kill Steenson in front of the Gardaí. It's also been reported that he was armed. So he literally went to Steenson's office with a gun or a fake gun or a 3D gun or a real gun. You know, this is an assassination attempt. This is the same like they have in the US now. We have now elevated to a new level of extremes in Ireland. So not only was he armed, he actually made details on what's he going to do to him. He told the Gardaí what's he going to do to him. Just a crackpot through and through. Switching topics a little bit, we are now onto immigration. Illegal immigration into Ireland is a disaster. We all know that Simon Harris and Micheál Martin came out last weekend to basically just say there's too many numbers. There's too many people here. 85% of people plus in this country believe there's too much people here. You know, we need to crack down on the amount of illegals, the amount of legal people coming in as well. There's just too many people, hundreds of thousands of people flooding into the country from God knows where. We had that little girl at the City West Hotel that was sexually assaulted by a 26-year-old migrant who should have been deported 8 months prior, but they're just letting more and more people into the country. But now we have another video here from Simon Harris trying to basically calm down everybody, okay? He says, migration is a good thing, but it has to always be on a rules-based policy and informed. Ireland's population is growing fast, and this brings in opportunity and major policy challenges. It doesn't bring in opportunity, guys. Just having a diverse country doesn't bring in opportunity. If we have a few hundred people that are good, hardworking people that want to build businesses in Ireland and push the culture and heritage of the country, that's one thing. We do not have that in this country. We have thousands of people flooding in who hate the country. They don't care about the country. They don't even speak English. Who's going to hire these people? Just a disaster. He then says we need a calm, rational debate on migration, housing, and the capacity of the state. So this is how disastrous immigration is in Ireland for those who are outside of the country. The government won't even allow a debate on immigration because they fear that it'll crack down on it. It'll fear that it'll withhold the actual immigration, which it should. They won't even allow a debate. Now we finally have Simon Harris, finally Micheál Martin, saying that we should have a debate on it. Let's see what are the good parts and bad parts of it. And this is after the 10-year-old got attacked. They're only saying this, in my personal opinion, because that 10-year-old girl from City West got attacked, brutally sexually assaulted.
We have to be able to have a rational, calm debate about migration in Ireland and about the impact of population growth on the capacity of the state. Population growth has been rapid in Ireland in recent years. Irish population growth was the third highest in the European Union from around 2001 to 2021. At the end of April of this year, CSO figures showed the Irish population had risen by 78,300 people to 5,458,600 people in the previous 12 months. There were 125,200 immigrants to Ireland in the same period. This was a decrease on the previous year, but it was also the fourth year in a row where over 100,000 people had immigrated into Ireland.
Since the lockdowns, they estimate that 475,000 people have come to Ireland. We're talking about a radical change in the country. We're not talking about, like I said, a few hundred people coming here and there, a few workers, maybe they're changing the town a little bit. No, we're talking about a mass overhaul of the entire Irish culture. Society it's completely gone. These idiots are about 10 years too late. We've been saying this for 10 years, guys. Everybody knew this. I knew this when I was 15 years old. I'm 30 now. People have said this for 15 years. Okay, we gotta cool it with the mass illegal immigration, the mass I-pass, this kind of thing. Everyone's been saying this for many, many years. And now they're only catching on. It's a bit too late, in November 1st, 2025, it's too late now. We need to now start deporting people. Not only do we actually have to cut it off, we actually have to deport people as well. We could have just cut it off 5-10 years ago. No, it's ridiculous.
Of course, this number is composed of a number of different groups. Returning Irish citizens, UK and EU citizens, people coming here to study, to work through international protection, people from a variety of countries. But of course, it's legitimate to consider the policy challenge that this rapid population growth poses. Roughly speaking, for example, for every 10,000 people who come into our country, around 3,000 more homes are needed. Apart from these broader issues, we do also need to be continually evolving policy to ensure our international protection system is firm, is fair, and is functioning efficiently. We have made significant investment and we have made improvements to our system. But as of the end of October, a majority of IPO applicants were refused. That is just a fact. So being in government means balancing all of these matters. It means thinking long term, like we did at Cabinet today when my colleague Minister Donoghue brought forward the Future 40 report. Where will this country be over the next 40 years? So let me be clear. Migration is undoubtedly a good thing for Ireland. Migrants make an extraordinary positive contribution to our economy, to our communities, and to the delivery of our public services. Ireland will always meet our obligations to those in need of assistance. But that doesn't mean it doesn't also bring challenges. We can't shirk them. We can't ignore them. We shouldn't shout each other down or refuse to discuss them. We need to have a system that works. And that's why I intend to work with government partners in line with the Programme for Government to develop Ireland's new national migration strategy in 2026. We've got to get this right. We've got to have calm, rational, mature, informed discussions about what is a legitimate and important policy issue.
This guy is about 10 years too late. And he made a few claims there I want to talk about. First and foremost, we need to shut down the borders. Okay, completely shut down the country. For anyone coming in, also shut down all of the I-pass centres in Ireland, 100%. Anyone coming in or out needs to be audited to see who's here, who's working, who's doing good, who's doing bad. He also made a claim to say that immigration is great, that it brings in hardworking people, brings in all these people that are really good and want to help build the country. But you can't say that as a blanket statement. That's just not true. A lot of people that leave Ireland to go elsewhere, maybe they're doing criminal activity as well. People coming into Ireland, it definitely isn't all good. Okay, maybe it could be 50% good, 40%, who knows what the number is. But people come here absolutely just to scrounge off the welfare system. Absolutely. Or commit crimes. Or they're just here for economic reasons, which is another thing to talk about and discuss. And Ken O'Flynn discussed all these things amazingly in the Dáil yesterday.
But for the 82% of Irish people that feel unheard, unseen and forgotten in this country, the government has lost control of the migration and lost control of the enforcement and lost the confidence of this nation. What we have now is a system without fairness and without end in sight. Appeals have surged from 46% in 6 months from 9,700 to 14,134. Deportation orders have been issued, but yet from June, only 160 deportation orders have been acted on by remove of charter. That, Minister, is not order, that is abdication. Near €1 billion each year is being spent on accommodation for international protection applicants. Some of them have been pointed out to the House who have an unusual relationship with CAB. Others have very unusual relationships with Fianna Fáil. While the Irish citizens who built and paid into this country, Minister, cannot find a home, they cannot find a GP, they cannot find a dentist, they cannot get extra services into their classrooms, and many of them have told me that they've lost their sense of security within their own community. There's nobody talking about that. Minister, we must put Irish people first. We must protect our own citizens and house our own homeless before we try to impress the boys in Brussels.
Yes.
Charity should always begin at home when it comes to our citizens. Our duty is to our own people, not for the good of the boys in Europe and to impress those and to be the best in class.
Yeah.
We walk through villages in Ireland today and they don't reflect Irish society anymore. Many people are saying that to me, that they don't feel safe because they were a small village, their hotel has been taken away from them, everything has been taken away from them, and there's a huge influx of a new society put upon them and no consultation given to them at that time. We look across to Europe, Minister, and countries are taking back control. Countries like Denmark enforcing great and proper immigration and well-structured immigration laws. Poland defending its borders, and Hungary will not be lectured by bureaucrats in Brussels. Ireland, meanwhile, rewards the policy failures of this government with hotel rooms and handouts, and that is not making any economic... I promoted you there, sorry, Cloncola, but that would not promote anybody, and it's economically...
Man, what a speech. What a speech. That was unbelievable. Like I said in the last few videos, the towns are changing. We have small towns, Dundrum, small towns of these little villages, you know, and I live in a little village. I live in a small village, guys. I'm from the countryside, you know, I'm really from a small village, even a smaller villages, sometimes 200 men, women and children in Dundrum, Irish men, women and children in Dundrum. Then all of a sudden you get 3,000 military-aged fighting men coming from the flippin' African plains or the Middle East, war zones, where they're just goat herders and sheep herders. They don't want to be here. They could be ISIS-trained combatants. They could be who the hell knows. You don't know who's coming in, guys. We don't know. There's no crackdown. There's no background checks. It's an absolute disaster, guys. It's a disaster waiting to happen, and we have to take care of our own people first. I've said this many, many times before. If you want to help the world, that's one thing. But first, help your own people. You got to clean your own house before you can clean the flipping roads. We have a local doctor here also explaining the illegal migrants are receiving surgical treatments ahead of hard-working Irish taxpayers. Ridiculous stuff. That's from Real News Era on X. Go check him out.
The point that I would have issue with him is when he talked about... But the point that I would have issue with him is when he talked about the migration. The anger that out there is a lot of anger out there. What's annoying people is that our money is being squandered. Yeah. Absolutely squandered.
You heard him say it, Ken O'Flynn. €1 billion per year. Could you imagine if they put €1 billion into the infrastructure of Galway or flipping Sligo or flipping Limerick? You know, it would completely change these towns. Lads, it would make the cities of Ireland amazing and beautiful. And maybe Irish people, students that leave college, they might want to stay here rather than flipping, you know, fly over to Australia and Canada.
by this government. And one of the places that they've been squandering the money of the hard-working taxpayers of this country is that the open border policy.
See, that's a misrepresentation. It isn't, because I'll tell you why. The entire budget, I don't have the exact figures right, but our entire budget is, and don't come at me saying I'm pro this, that and the other. I'm just not you or anyone on social media. Our entire...
You are pro flipping immigration, you bollocks. Don't come at me saying this. You are. Look at them interrupting him and he's trying to give a speech. Like, let the man speak. Let the man speak, for God's sake.
Our budget's something like, it's well in excess of 100 billion, okay? Our spend on all things, IPAS, Ukraine, accommodation, food, transport, fixing their cars, whatever way you want to describe it, is 1.6 billion.
That's not accurate.
It is accurate.
No,
it's more than that. I think it's like 6 billion per year, actually. You know, Ken O'Flynn said $1 billion, but that's just like official figures. I think it's like upwards of like, it's billions, guys. It's billions per year.
You have to include the social welfare budget. You have to include the education budget. You have to include the health budget. And that's all heading to...
They're in this country. No, listen. Someone in an iPass Centre gets 38 quid a week.
No, hold on a minute, Greg.
Well, maybe not. Maybe he's not British. He sounds flipping posh as hell, though. Oh, of course we have the posh man here at the election office telling us how to run our lives. Okay, posh man, you don't live anywhere close to an iPass centre. What would you know about living in any sort of destitute society? You have been raised with a silver spoon, my good friend.
It's a tiny fraction. It's less than
that's not a fair
1.5%.
representation, Greg. I can tell you this factually, and I know a surgeon who recently spoke to me in the last number of days were telling me how people, refugees coming into the country, are jumping the queue ahead of Irish people that they need to operate on. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't get seen to, but when Irish people are pushed down the system, Greg, and I'm out working and paying my taxes and paying my health insurance.
The point I'm saying, it's very...
would you stop interrupting me, you bollocks, the big bald head in you, Greg? You flipping slaphead. Quit interrupting our man.
It's important that when you have this conversation, it's not overstated. Now, unless the government figures are wrong, they've allocated in total €1.6 billion to service the refugee stroke IPAS needs. That's what's in the budget.
I understand that, but what they're not being, and I hear what you're saying, but they're not being honest with that articulation, because it does not include how much of that is actually of our national education budget is being given, for example, for Ukrainians and the special resources that are going in that. How much of our health budget is being absorbed.
I've heard recently it was like 6 billion, something like that. So crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. Let me know your thoughts on that. Comment down below what you all think. I just think the immigration in this country is a disaster. We have left-wing lunatics that are bringing guns and trying to shoot our councillors that are more conservative. Now we also have immigration running rampant as well. We have Simon Harris and all these lunatics defending immigration when 85% of people in this country know that immigration is too high. They're in the flipping minority. We are the majority now. Just understand, if you are anti-immigration, you are the majority. These people are the minority. Let me know your thoughts. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member for just €3 per month. Don't subscribe to Irish Independent or the mainstream media. The mainstream media is dead. They don't give you the actual news. I will give you the actual news. And I'll see you all in the next one, lads. Peace.